Hello everybody, this is Gregory with how I lost over 100 pounds and I've kept it off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance for your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about how your depression is stopping you from starting the journey. Now before we begin, if you need help with weight loss, especially from the psychological point of view, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, Naturopathic Herb, that has tons of articles and recipes. My podcast, The Awakened Man, which has been around since 2017. And if you appreciate my content, please click on the PayPal link. All right, so there are people, quite a few, and I remember this. I mean, that's why, this is one of the reasons why I have the Confessions of an Obese Child playlist here, that have the mindset of, I give up, I can't do it, I'm too fat, I will never lose the weight. They're full of self-loathing, maybe in their mind justifiably so, because they have tried to lose weight. Maybe they have lost a little weight but couldn't get past that hurdle. Maybe they lost a lot of weight and gained it back. Maybe they haven't lost any weight and they just keep gaining and gaining and gaining, and you've just, a fait accompli, past the point of no return. You've just kind of given up. You're too depressed. You're like, Gregor, I hear what you're saying. I know weight loss is 90% psychological. I just can't do it. And I can relate. If you go to Confessions of an Obese Child, I think it's number 18, that's when I talk about suicidal ideation. Because I felt the same way. My whole life I was told I was a horrible piece of crap. And everything I knew up to that point was that I was a horrible piece of crap. I couldn't wipe my butt. I had to have people spray baby powder on me. Of course, I had no friends. I was ridiculed all the time. And I just ate my emotions, and I was getting fatter and fatter and fatter and fatter. To the point where I was cutting myself and contemplating suicide. So I know what you're going through. And there's a saying, and pretty much everything I'm going to tell you is going to be hackneyed on one level. But what they say, the darkest time of the night is right before the dawn. And for me, the time of the self-harm and suicidal ideation was right before I lost the weight. So you can't predict the future. As much as you think you can predict the future, you can't. And past results are not an indicator of future performance, as the infomercials tell you. And sure, I mean, you can look at a bad football team or a bad basketball team and they don't get new talent. What are the chances that they're probably going to be good? Probably not. Probably not. But you don't know the future. What we do know is self-hating, depression is not beneficial to you wanting to lose weight, because not so deep down, you do want to lose the weight. You're watching this video, you've tried in the past, maybe it hasn't succeeded, but you do want to lose the weight. The intent is there. The discipline, the assiduity is not there. The hard work maybe is not there, but you do want to lose it, and that's part of the intention. So I would tell you, as I've mentioned before with envy and kind of the negativistic stuff, and I'll put banners for those episodes. Depression and self-loathing is only a poison that we concoct, that only we drink. So I would tell you, suffering from despair, which is a sin, the sin of despair. We talk about Judas Iscariot had the sin of despair. Because unlike Peter, who also betrayed Jesus by denying him 3 times, Peter asked for forgiveness, Peter repented. Judas didn't. Judas had the sin of despair, and then he hung himself. So no good comes from self-loathing. No good comes from depression. And I think you know this. And no good is going to come from you just eating Hot Pockets and playing video games and hating yourself. So I get where you're coming from, where you say, I've done it and it didn't work, and I don't see any reason why the future would be any different. I can totally understand where you're coming from, and look, probably statistically, the chances of losing the weight are probably not the best, but they're better than where you're at now. And you know that. That's why you're watching this video. That's why you probably tried to lose weight before. So there are a lot of people who have been in the situation that you're in right now. And some of them lost weight, like me. And there's people who were in your situation who didn't lose the weight. But being quagmired in your situation and thinking that you can't change it is not going to improve your circumstance. I'm not really into New Age stuff, but it is the power of positive thinking. And I do have an earlier video about purging the negativistic thinking, the loser mindset, as we call it. Yeah, I know, but there's always a but. There's always an excuse. You're not going to lose weight until you get rid of that loser mindset. Doesn't mean you're a loser. It's just you have a loser mindset, a victim mindset. And you got to purge that. But you can lose the weight. It is possible to do it. It's going to be hard. And in some ways, guys, it's easier now than it was 20, 30 years ago because you have bariatric surgery if you need to go down that road. There are problems and issues with that, but arguably it's better than not losing the weight at all. Plus you have fasting, which is another biohack you can do. And there's more resources out there. And like I've talked about before, we all know how to lose weight. You know how to lose weight in terms of what we're supposed to eat, what we're not supposed to drink, and all these things. You don't need to be going to Reddit or YouTube or even this channel to learn those things. It's all up here. You're your greatest proponent, your greatest advocate, but you can also be your worst enemy. And weight loss is all psychological. And up here, your mind's telling you that you're a horrible piece of crap, that you can't do it. So you have to unlearn that. And I think my second video that I ever did here was that a new day is here. Every day is a new day. So you shirk and eschew whatever bad behavior or binge eating you did the day before, and you start afresh. Rome wasn't built in a day, as they say. Rome was not built in a day. It takes time and hard work. But what's the alternative? Just eating away until you're 600 pounds and they have to get a crane to haul you out? I mean, you don't want that. You don't want that. So you have to love yourself enough to at least try. And like, if you listen to the confession series, I talk about it. I loved food more than I loved myself. Even though I knew I was hurting myself, I still loved the food because the food was nourishing the inner pain. It's giving me nourishment because I didn't get nourishment from my family as a child. So I get that, but ultimately you got to reach a point where you're like, I am not going to live like this. I'm not going to do this anymore, and I'm going to try. You might not succeed, but I'm going to try. You owe it to yourself. You only have one life. You didn't make your own life. Your life was a gift, and you owe it to try to lose the weight. Unlearn what you've learned, purge the negativistic thinking, and just one day at a time, 2 steps forward, maybe 1 step back, you can do it. I would also recommend you journal, of course, daily. I'd recommend you have an accountability partner. I, of course, recommend you go to therapy, especially someone who specializes with people with addictions and eating disorders and stuff like that. Of course, you need external support. But ultimately, it comes down to here. And I am here to tell you that you can lose the weight. You can do it. It's going to be hard as hell to do it, but you can do it. Guys, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you if you were in this situation, or if you are in this situation. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Until next time, take care, God bless, and pray.